And that's what the oppressor never liked. It's the things we've done with music. Now he's corrupted our music a lot, and our music is used to do things that it shouldn't be, like promote drugs and fornication, etc. But things is not good for us. But we need to take back our music and definitely, act in spirituality. So thank you for joining us on the show this morning. I appreciate everyone who's here. Got 509 of you here on Sunday morning. It's a good place to be here on Sunday morning. I try to talk to you guys on Sunday mornings. It's real good to do so. It's relaxed, people off. Hope you start your week pretty good. But we're going to talk about this particular story that came out of Dallas, which is not good at all. This particular story. Hold on, let me check something out right here on my end. Let's give me a second. Okay. All right. So we heard about the story out of Dallas. A brother got killed, Botham Jean. And a lot of you have been sending me this particular story. And let me tell you something about that. I don't want to do stories like this unless I have a lot of information, because I don't like doing a video, then backdoor doing another video, then backdoor doing another video, because a lot of information just not out yet. I don't want to just jump on it just because. And, that's fine if you do that. I used to do that all the time with stories like this. But I'm like, now, no, I'll wait because I want to see pictures. I want to be sure. There was a lot of people putting out false information, conspiracy theories, whatever you want to put out. But I don't want to do that. I want to put out the most accurate thing that I can put out. But I'm not saying that anything that's coming out new won't be something we need to update. But as we heard, this brother was from St. Lucia originally, 26 years old. This brother graduated. He had a bachelor's degree. He worked for a prominent company, and he stayed at the Southside Flats. Now, the story came out stating that this cop, Amber Guygur, she was on the Dallas Police Department. She worked overtime. She came home. She claims she went to the wrong apartment. Okay, that's her claim. She went to the wrong apartment. And she said when she went to the wrong apartment, she ended up shooting and killing this brother. Now, so far, she has not been arrested at all, ladies and gentlemen. She hasn't. So at first they was talking about arresting her, at least on manslaughter. But the police chief had brought in the Texas Rangers, and they stated just to hold off on charging her just yet because there's more things they want to check out. So that's the current word that we have now. Now, on the original story, this chick, from my opinion, is full of ish. Okay, she really is. Her story don't match up. Now, let's dispel, fake news, I'm going to say. This dude did not date her. People was floating a picture around and saying, oh, that was his girlfriend. He didn't know her from a hole in the wall. This brother was a victim at his own home. This is why we titled it, Black Men Aren't Safe in Their Own Homes. He wasn't at the wrong place at the wrong time or anything like that. He was at his home that he pays for all the time. Now, it was told that he was going back to St. Lucia, I think on the 30th. He was going to go back home, but it's just not safe in this country for black men. You know how it is. They quick to shoot us, kill us, and then nothing is said about it. Now, I've stated this before. A four-legged dog have more organizations and more love and protection from the people who are in power than we do as black people. We don't even have protection from slavery. We need to talk about that. But no black folks want to talk about slavery like that because slavery is still on the books. It never went away. And yet we're coming up on this 2019, 400 years, and we need to start speaking about the 13th Amendment and how slavery is still on the books. So we still not safe. The Casual Killing Act was something that was law, was stated that you could kill your slave in an area of correction and nothing will happen to you. That's why they still kill black people to this day and nothing much, if anything, happens to them. But let's get to this particular chick. She said that She went to the wrong apartment. That was the story. I went to the wrong apartment. Now, I want you to watch a video that, and shout out to this sister and brother who did this video. They actually at the apartments themselves, and they're going to show you how that I went to the wrong apartment BS is a bunch of lies. She's making something up to cover up. But let's go ahead and play this first video.
Okay. Yeah, it's a personal page. Okay, so I'm here at the south side of Lamar. I ran into a gentleman who's actually going to show me how the keys work to the door. So this is his apartment.
It's going to be my apartment.
Okay.
It's live right now, so
right.
When the key fob go in, it turn green. You can turn it. Boom.
It opens up when it turns green. Okay. All right, and that lets you know that that's your apartment. But if it's not your apartment, okay. So now we're going to walk over to his neighbor's apartment.
So it's like this.
So if it doesn't work, if the key doesn't fit and it doesn't work, it's not going to turn or do anything. Do you see this? It's going to turn red. So we have some inconsistencies in the story, because even if you thought that was your apartment when it didn't open, then what do? Like if it doesn't open, right? Okay, y'all, just coming to y'all with tidbits of information. This is Southside of Lamar, 1210 Southside, regarding the officer-involved shooting that occurred yesterday.
All right, so you saw that the brother and sister went by, and they showed that if you stick your key in there, it turns green. Then you could turn it, you can go into your spot. When she got there, it wasn't her place. It turned red. She could not turn it. What was she doing at the door? Was she banging on the door? Was she doing something for the brother to come to the door and say, hey, what the hell going on? And if that happened, why didn't she like, oh, shoot, and look at what's going on? Because me, if I go to my, let's say, apartment and my key don't work, the first thing I'm going to look up is where I'm at. I'm going to look at the apartment. Now, I'm going to look around and say, what's going on? They changed the locks on me? Like, what's up? The first thing I wouldn't do is pull out a gun and shoot somebody. And what justifies her shooting him? Was he attacking her? Did he do anything? No, he didn't. She just saw a black man and she killed him. It's just that simple. How many times have we posted videos and they talk about, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill you, and always want to kill a black person. This is why I always tell you that, when I say the devil that the Bible speaks of is because Satan kill, steal, and destroy. That's what Satan do. And they follow the lust of their father. That's why it's so easy for them to kill. I just posted a picture on my Instagram this morning of how they were over there in the continent killing lions. And they just taking pictures with a dead lion. The lion didn't do you nothing, but you going over there just killing. They just love to kill. They make things extinct. That's why they don't have certain animals anymore in Europe, because they kill them all. And then they want to go to the continent and do more killing there too. You get what I'm saying? That now this fake news, I'm gonna put that out there, who keeps saying about the man had a relationship. The man didn't have no relationship with that woman. He didn't know her from a hole in the wall. This is why y'all got to stop saying certain things. Like, why? That's stupid. Like, that's so stupid. Why would he have a relationship with her? I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying it couldn't be possible, but that's not what it is. Y'all spreading that stuff around. Y'all put up a picture of a woman claiming that was her, and it wasn't her. Y'all got to be careful of that, because people have, like, trolled people, gotten people fired from jobs, and that's, like, the wrong person. Then y'all can't fix it once that happens. So be careful with identifying people that have nothing to do with it. I mean, would you like to be identified or implicated in something that you didn't do, and then people's calling your job and people's trolling and doing all that stuff to you, and then you lose your job, you do whatever the case may be, you being harassed, and you had nothing to do with something? I'm a firm believer, just treat others the way you want to be treated. So that's why I just want to hold back and wait till certain things come out. We need to do that. Now, I heard the police chief did take a blood sample from her to test if she had alcohol in her system or drugs in her system. Because there's many people that have worked jobs, because she claims she's working overtime 12 hours, and they didn't go to their spot and shoot somebody. That's just not how it works. Now, on top of that, when it comes to this particular woman, let me get to the next thing here. So after she shot the brother, we want to put up the footage of the aftermath. So let's put up the footage of that. That's her right there. So after that, he had to go down 4 flights of stairs, okay? 4 flights of stairs, and like say he didn't make it. You know, my thing is common sense, once again, will say if my key isn't working and it's still not working, someone comes to the door, I would think, shoot, what this dude doing in my spot? But I wouldn't think to kill him right off the back, because if it was somebody that was doing some thugging, they wouldn't approach the door just in a relaxed manner if they're doing some thugging. Now, this particular place was a nice place, gated. You had to spend a little money to stay there. It wasn't one of those, cheap environments. But this brother was inside his home and lost his life. Now, everybody keep asking that her name is Amber Guygur. That is her name. She's been on the force, I think, about 4 years. She had an officer-involved shooting in 2017, I'm not mistaken. I think they're going to play that here on a news clip I got as well. The guy didn't die, though. The guy was trying to take a taser, allegedly, and she shot him, but he lived. He was a 46-year-old Hispanic male. Is the one that she had shot. So if we would, let me get to her pictures real quick that we have. The first picture you have up here is her in the middle. That's her, Amber Guygur. Now I want you guys to look to the left. See the shirt she got on? That says "All Lives Matter." You see where some of this is going. If you hanging around people that's saying all lives matter, then we kind of figure out what kind of people you hanging around. And usually the kind of people you hang around is kind of usually the company you keep, and you probably talk the exact same way as the people you're hanging around. And that's her mom with this all lives matter crap. Now, we know that all lives matter crap, it was something that the white supremacists, because they not original. I'm telling you, they copy everything black people do. They have no original thought. Black people were saying Black Lives Matter at the time. When Black Lives Matter started off, it started off real good. Then you had the white liberals get involved. Then they changed it from Afrocentric black organization fighting for the rights and freedoms of black people. Now Black Lives Matter is some black wing of a fighting for LGBT and fighting for everything but the black family. The black man's not involved with the preference of Black Lives Matter. So that's why most black people don't even fool with it. But they came up with All Lives Matter to just take a jig at black people. Then they come up with what later Blue Lives Matter. They have no original thought, but they supposed to be the high IQ people. People with a high IQ don't need to take from people that they claim they have a low IQ. They don't have to do that because they're so smart that they will innovate something new. But that's that. But yeah, but this is the people that she's around. Now we're gonna look at one more picture here. This is her. The same lady had the All Lives Matter shirt. I think that's her dad right there. But look at what he's doing. Well, this white power signal, right? How many times we keep seeing this over and over and over? But they'll tell you that's a satanic symbol. And white supremacy is satanic. So it's all one and the same. They'll tell you, oh, it's the okay symbol. But if you understand anything about white supremacy, they always make changes. They change their names. They change signs they use. They change constantly. So when they start using this white power sign, that's why they get so many people to come in and say, that's not what it is. I always tell you guys, never, ever, ever listen to the white supremacists tell you anything about what they're doing. Like, come on. How many times have we seen this? But yet, this is who she's around. People that's wearing all lives matter and throwing on white power signs. I'm not making it up. That's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what it is. Now, the next video I want to show you guys is his mother, Botham Jean's mother. I want you to hear her particular take on everything. So let me go ahead and play that.
So what's going through my mind, I didn't know she was white until now. If he was a white man in that apartment, would it have been different? Would she have reacted differently? Why is it because he was a black man that she had to act in that way? This has to stop. God loves all of us. Black, white, Latino, Jewish, Chinese, Indian, everyone. He loves us all the same. And this needs to stop.
And you've been in touch with police and the detective and everything. Can you share anything?
They're not saying anything. They just keep saying that the investigation is continuing.
And so tonight you're leaving here. Can you talk to me about...
Yes, I'm leaving for Dallas tonight. When I get there, I'll know. I just don't know what to do. I'm not an American. I just don't know what to do.
How long were you supposed to be in the States for?
Until the 21st of September. I came on the 30th of August. I didn't think that during my time here I would have to face this. Botham came all the way home to St. Lucia one Mother's Day to surprise me. I was sleeping that Sunday afternoon and I heard, Gigi. So I opened my eyes and I said, but maybe I'm dreaming, so I closed my eyes again. And then he came and he just jumped on the bed on me. It was Mother's Day.
Seems like not like so many memories and...
Botham was a love to all. Our church, we go to the Church of Christ and we have an annual Caribbean lectureship. And Botham was chosen every year to come sing at the lectureships. So everybody in the Caribbean in our church knows Botham. Botham was at Harding and everybody knew Botham at Harding. The chancellor or vice chancellor named Botham at the graduation ceremony. They called his name about his affable spirit. He didn't deserve that. Not my Botham. Not my son. It just cannot be true.
And how's your daughter doing?
She's not doing too well. She's stronger than me, but she's the pragmatic type who will spring into action. But my entire family, Botham left both of his grandmothers and grandfathers. They're both alive. They're all alive. He has aunts and uncles and cousins, and everybody is just disturbed by this.
And just, so I know you had mentioned that you read in articles that it happened in there was a lot of discrepancy between the doorway or what happened in the apartment.
It just keeps saying that she walked into the wrong apartment.
But what did the officers didn't elaborate or tell your daughter anything specifically
No.
about if it happened in the doorway
No.
or if it happened in the apartment?
No.
There was nothing like that.
No. In fact, there's a video, I think, but I didn't play it. I don't think they're saying that they have footage of the, how they call it, the camera, the body camera. I don't know that I could deal with it right now.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share about your son with us? And also, sorry, back to the body cam. Who told you about the body cam?
No, it's on one of the news articles. I'm not sure if it's Fox or someone.
Oh, they just so you saw someone report it. I didn't know if someone told you about it. Or
No,
something.
there's a video, but I didn't play the video. I
Gotcha.
can't deal with it. No, I can't deal with it. The state needs to pay for my son. They need to pay for the loss of my son. Botham was nowhere in any wrong place at any wrong time. He was in his sanctuary, in the place where he called home. He didn't deserve it.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I don't have anything else to ask. You're good.
I'm good.
I want to give you a hug. Can I give you a hug?
Now, some of y'all in the chat, go get yourself blocked. Stop saying that mess about forgiveness is for the weak. I have another video where this woman's saying something completely different. She didn't say nothing about forgiving. She just said God love people. That's it. That's the only thing she said. Now, you know, those of us who know the Bible, you know good and well that God doesn't love every single person. No, he don't. He doesn't love evil people. He's also stated that, you know, Jacob I love and Esau I hated. So, you know, God has a lot of things he stated that he hates. So, you know, have me break out the Bible on the live stream on y'all one day, because I can do that. But this woman lost her son. And like she said, when she came over here, she wasn't thinking that she was going to lose her son, because she's supposed to go back to St. Lucia. She stated around the 21st or so. But now she got to try to figure out what's going to go on with her son. I mean, which is very, very sad. You know, as a parent, it is not right and not the proper order for you to bury your children. Your children is supposed to bury you. So we could talk about forgiveness and all that. You know my stance on that. I ain't forgiving these white supremacists for crap. I ain't. But at that time period when a brother or sister has lost their children or lost a family member, that's not the time to start that crap. It's just not the time for that. We could talk about that later. It's just how it is. And if a person, you know, takes that stance at that time period, that's fine. We could always talk to their brother or sister later and tell them why that stance may not be as good at, you know, for us, because it's natural to be angry. You know, anger is an emotion that we all should express. And black people's anger is something that they always try to tell you is wrong. Black people's rage is wrong. Or, you know, the angry black man, the angry black woman. We have a right to be angry. Look at how we are treated. Look at all the deaths that we have happen to us constantly. What do you mean? We are crazy as hell to be smiling when this is going on. It's normal to be angry. What did James Baldwin say? That to live in consciousness is to live in a state of rage? It's just that simple. No, well, let me tell you, say, okay, you keep saying what we gonna do. What are you gonna do? You know, because black folks got that real bad. They're trying to tell other people what they should be doing. No, what do? You take the lead. If you feel that we're doing something wrong, you take the leadership position, you lead, and then maybe we could follow you since you got the right idea. All right, so let's go to one more report, and then you're going to hear this woman's position, actually, the sister that was on there in relation to this cop, Amber Guygur. Let me play that.
Well, there absolutely are. The family is grieving and they're feeling frustrated. They'd believed that an arrest was imminent, only to find out that a decision had been made to hold off. Not only that, rumors have been swirling on social media that these two knew each other, but we have confirmed that they did not know each other. But what we do know is that the confrontation between them left one of them dead and an officer on the other side of the law. It was hard not to feel the measure of a life well lived Saturday afternoon. Mourners filled the pews remembering 26-year-old Botham Jean.
He loved people. I mean, he had a captivating smile.
And trying to understand how the young accountant's life could be cut short late Thursday in a tragic encounter. Dallas police officer Amber Guygur mistook his apartment for hers. Police say she shot and killed him, leaving those that loved him with many questions and few answers.
This is the worst call any mother can get. This is the worst pain any mother can feel.
His mother, Allison Jean, arrived today from the family's native St. Lucia.
I don't know what to say to her. I know she took my life away, like my very own life.
On Friday, Police Chief Renee Hall announced she'd taken the unusual step of calling in the Texas Rangers, sidelining the unit that normally investigates shootings involving police officers. She also announced that investigators were in the process of getting a warrant for manslaughter. Saturday, she was left explaining why no arrest had been made.
In that process, the Texas Rangers had an opportunity to interview the officer. Based on that interview, they asked us to hold off on the warrant until they had an opportunity to investigate some of the information that was provided during that interview.
Inside the department, sources say the decision to bring in the Rangers slowed the investigation. Mayor Mike Rawlings defended the decision.
Her wisdom in asking that the Texas Rangers come in and take over this investigation is foresighted.
We're deeply concerned about how this process is moving forward.
The family's attorney, Lee Merritt.
Right now, there is probable cause, we believe, for an arrest, and that hasn't happened. And we believe that hasn't happened because she's a law enforcement officer.
It remains unclear at this point whether detectives will obtain a warrant for Guyger's arrest or decide to refer it to the grand jury. Guygur is a 4-year veteran. She was involved in a non-fatal police shooting last year. She shot the suspect when he took her taser.
I never thought I'd be here. But in his short life, he lived life. And he loved life. He loved people. And he loved the Lord.
Todd Gentry, his mentor and professor at Harding University in Arkansas.
And one thing we have to carry away is the fact that he loved the Lord and he wants you to love the Lord.
Botham's mother wants people to remember how he lived, not just how he died.
All right, some of you making comments, and let me correct you on something. Some of you saying on YouTube, at least. I'm looking at Facebook as well. Some of you are saying that the cop's a traitor. You're talking about the police chief in Dallas. She was going to get an arrest warrant to charge her. The Texas Rangers told them to hold off. That wasn't her holding off. That was them telling her to hold off. So, but you know, usually the Texas Rangers, to explain about them, they are more thorough in what they do than a regular police department. And usually it's not a bad thing when they come in because, you know, the reputation that they have here in Texas. You know, I mean, that's kind of like Texas version of like a FBI, you know, Texas Rangers, you want to say that. You know, they have jurisdiction all over the state to do whatever they want to do. But, you know, a lot of people are upset. They say, why she's not in jail? I mean, because if it'd been anybody else, it'd been in jail. Now, you know, let's call it what it is. If this was a black female police officer and she would have killed, you know, Brad, you know, would she be in jail right now? Or this police officer be in jail? Because they said when this woman had shot and killed his brother, the first thing she done, she was calling her partner, not even 911. They always, when they shoot, they want to make sure you bleed out and die. You notice that? They shoot somebody and they don't give medical attention. And you know, it's not even a law that state that they have to give you medical attention. They can shoot you and let you bleed out and die. I mean, this country is extremely cruel. Extremely cruel. How they treat the people in this nation. But this Amber Guygur, you know, she's hanging around. Like I said, we'll make sure to put that up again so we can talk about it. She's hanging around people that's throwing up white power signs. So I don't know what's in her social media history. I'm curious. But you know what they did? And shout out to the internet sleuths. They was hiding her image. They was hiding her name. And they was behind the scenes trying to scrub her from the internet. But it didn't work because the internet sleuth was on the job and they found out who this woman was. And, you know, that's what they can't stand about at this day and time with the internet. Many of you are good at investigating. Many of you should be working for the feds or something, because you guys are good at tracking people. You guys are, you know, now some of you, you know, may put things out that's not what it should be. But for the most part, people are good at finding out who people are these days. It's pretty good. But this picture right here with this guy and then the other lady with the All Lives Matter. Now I'm so curious of what was in her social media. What was she posting? What was she saying about black people or other groups of people who aren't like her? What was she saying? That's what I want to know. And even if you delete a Facebook page, if you do, you can get a court order to get the Facebook page retrieved, because even though you so-called delete a Facebook page, it's not deleted. Facebook can pull everything right back up. This ain't like a YouTube, Twitter, or whatever. Don't think, oh, I'm gonna hurry up and delete a post. They still got it. Even though you so-called deleted it. It's in their archives. But this is what we need to pay attention to. So I'm definitely curious about her social media pages and what's in that. Because how many times have we seen people who hanging around people like that, throwing up white power signs and saying all lives matter, and then a lot of times they're full-fledged white supremacists on their Facebook page. They're just trying to hide it. This story, as I say, is wrong. It's sick. And this is why you see things happening in this nation. All the murdering. Like I say, this is another brother murdered unjustly. Like I said, we're coming up on the 400 years that we have, you know, we commemorate slavery, right? And many, many men and women in our community has been unjustly murdered, and nothing has happened to them. And this is the thing. The days are growing short for those who have committed the murders, those who have enslaved us, those who have stolen from us. Their time of rule is in its final hour. Trust me when I tell you that it's in their final hour, and they cannot stop it. Trust me, they're trying to stop it. It was so funny the other day. I watched a video, and one of them did like a press conference, not a press conference, like a presentation, trying to explain why they're in decline. And everything outside of a few things I agreed with was the blame of everybody else. It's always somebody else's fault for what they're doing. Not taking responsibility for the actions and the things they commit. The thing is this. There are laws that are universal that's put throughout the earth. If you do something to somebody, good or bad, it's coming back on you. My thing is this. I actually feel, you know, it's hard for me to even say this, but what I see is coming, I feel bad for them. I feel bad because they don't realize what's coming. You have millions upon millions of deaths on your hands. Innocent blood that cries out to God for vengeance and justice of our ancestors, of aborted babies, all kind of different people that they have killed. Not just black people, the Native Americans too. Tried to be nice with you. And yes, some black people were part of the tribes. I understand that. Were nice to them, welcomed them in. tried to make treaties with them, and murdered them, took their land, brought a bunch of diseases over here from Europe that killed actually more of them than some of the slaughter. But even we celebrate a holiday called Thanksgiving, and that holiday was meant to commemorate the slaughter of a bunch of Native Americans. It wasn't the lie they told you that, oh, we're sitting at peace. That's a lie. These people celebrate murdering. They teach our children to celebrate Christopher Columbus, which was a murderer, a rapist. He was taken back to Spain in chains, but they never tell you that in school. He literally committed genocide against a group of people when he came to the Caribbean, and they were nice to him. They wanted to share their gold with him. They wanted to share with him. Just be nice with him. You get what I'm saying? And when you cannot share that's what like the scriptures teach, casting your pearls before swine. And that's what all our people have done constantly. And that's been our Achilles heel, is casting our pearls before swine. And that's why a lot of times we've been murdered and slaughtered, because we don't understand that the motivation of the killing, like say the obsession with killing, that's of the devil. That's not of God. It's just murdering people. And because we have been around and exposed to the colonizer, this is why some of us have taken on the colonizer's ways. And that's why I feel, I know a third of us not going to make it, because we so infected with the colonizer. And like I say, white supremacy is literally a virus. You know, they justify killing, but they say they Christians. Well, if you say you so-called Christians, I thought the scriptures teach don't kill. No unjust killing. I thought the scriptures teach don't steal. So if they were truly Christians, then how could they steal this land? Then they have the nerve to tell other people they illegal and all other things, and yet they came over here with no papers, but yet they say they citizens. Who are they? They mad that other groups are coming in illegally, but they came here illegally too. They brought all these Europeans through Ellis Island to flood the country full of white folks. I mean, don't get me started talking about the history of this country. See, if you understand your history, and they purposely don't teach you your history, because if you repeat to them the history of this country, then they'll really understand what they're doing is completely wrong, but they don't care about right or wrong. But when it comes to this killing, even with the cops can kill, cops hardly go to jail. And the only reason cops are even getting prosecuted is because of black folks going in the streets and black folks having uprisings. Let's call that what it is. Cops wasn't charged for killing black folks for no reason until uprising after uprising after uprising was happening. And they say, oh, wait a minute. They causing too much money damage. Then we going to have to start sacrificing some of these cops, even though we don't want to. We're going to have to start sacrificing some of them because, no. Then you have to understand, y'all power is more than what you think sometimes. Y'all start getting DAs voted out. You know, but it's like I said, that's why I don't like when black people say voting don't matter. Yes, it do. Because that Bob McCullough guy that didn't want to prosecute Darren Wilson, he got voted out. Yes, your votes matter in this country. Yes, when you stand up to something, it matters. Matter of fact, the recent thing with Colin Kaepernick and Nike, partner with him. No, I'm not expecting Nike to be on this rah-rah Afrocentric pro-black tip. They in it for making money. But you are so powerful with culture in this country that the white supremacists said they was going to boycott Nike, and it did not work. The white supremacists said they was going to boycott Netflix. It did not work. All the little boycotts they said they was going to do, it failed because you didn't participate in it. And things that you participated in is not good for them. H&M, black people stood up against them. Black people stood up against Starbucks. Black people stood up against Papa John's. Other groups of people going to follow your lead. That's why I say black people are the leaders of culture in this country. The only thing we don't control is the government, the money, and the military. That's the only thing we really don't control. And this is why they always so invested in black people and what they're talking about and why they always going to sit here. Like the white supremacists are listening right now, whether they're on Facebook listening, and shout out to the people on Facebook that's listening, whether they're on YouTube listening, they're going to be at every single thing that we're talking about because they got to know. They just got to know what we're talking about. They're obsessive with us, but at the same time, they want to kill us. I'm gonna do a video where I saw one of them touching the sister's hair in a restaurant, and the sister, more sisters need to start going off about that. Don't be nice about that. Touching your hair. Oh no, like I said, I told my little girl, and she's 4. Don't you let nobody touch your hair. I got a thing about that. Cause I understand what that means spiritually. Like just don't put your hands on me. You're not gonna be trying to pull from my spirit. No. But yeah, Kelly Shelton said, knows that white boycotts do not work, and it's more of them. But yet when we stick to a boycott, see, they don't want us to boycott, because anytime we mention a boycott, the first thing they say, well, what about innocent businesses? They had nothing to do with it, because they know our boycotts work. Going way back to Martin Luther King, when he established the boycotts, they work when we make a move. See, the thing is, Black Americans do have power. You have more power than what you think, and your power is in the purse. And in this country, money is the God that rules white supremacy, not that false idol white Jesus. Money. And since you spend, $1.4 trillion, if you would actually realize your power financially, look, for instance, you know what you could tell the city of Dallas? If you got together and you unified, you could say, you know what, until that woman's arrested, we're not spending a dime in the city of Dallas. We're not spending no money. We'll go over to the next city and get our gas. We'll go over to the next city and get our groceries. We'll go over to whatever we're going to do. We're not going to spend a dime in this city until that woman is charged and arrested. Let's see how long it takes when y'all start spending money in the city of Dallas for them to arrest that woman. It won't take long at all. Y'all don't understand. Don't be in the street talking about no justice, no peace. Forget that. The money is where your power lies. The money equals power, and they know this. So this is why you have companies like Ford all of a sudden talking about, hey, we support NFL protesters too. You know why? Because they sat back and looked at, wow, Nike got a 31% jump in sales by supporting a black cause, even though they did it for money, but they're supporting a black cause. Hey, black people, we support it too. Big corporations are literally bowing down and trying to get black people to shop with them. Don't tell me you don't have no power in the United States of America. You actually do. You just don't use it. And you have to understand, the power for us is in our unification. Even in the scriptures, God taught himself. He said, if they will come together as one, it's nothing they can't do. And this is why the white supremacists seek to divide us of everything. Why you think a Willie Lynch letter came out? It came out to divide you, because if your power is in your unification, right, then your disconnect, your weakness is in individualism. And this individualism is in the black community is not going to solve problems like what we've seen in this video. Okay. See, this police brutality problem and extrajudicial killings of black people by cops will end tomorrow. The moment black people get on one concerted effort to say, you know what? This stops today. We can stop it. And you don't actually have to go in the street and destroy nothing to do it. It's very easy to get the attention of people all over this country when it comes to you spending your money. National boycotts work better than anything else. Martin Luther King showed you that. Laws was changed behind that. Just boycotting for a year. They changed laws in black people's favor. Someone asked, am I a Texans fan? I will not like the Houston Texans until Bob McNair get out of there. That comment he made about inmates and all this other stuff, I don't see how any black man plays for him. I don't see why. That's stupid. Yes, Sarah Jones, you're right. Siphoning your energy. You're right. That's why they like to touch. They always want to touch you. Don't let them and they feel like they got a right to touch you too. Because I was reading comments this morning from black women talking about their experiences about their hair. And they were saying that every time they have some white person, mostly white women, every blue moon a white male, want to touch their hair when they have the hair like in different ways. And then some of them get offended that you don't allow them to touch your hair. Get offended by that. That, for me, that's weird. Why do you want to put your hands on somebody else's hair? You don't know their hygiene. You don't know anything. Like, why you got to touch them? Or even black men know this. Like, a lot of times you see white females trying to put their hands on a black man's arm or touch them in a certain kind of way. And then when you react like, hey, don't touch me. What's wrong with you? They like, oh, I'm offended. But you have to understand, they used to have black people in petting zoos. So if they used to have black people in petting zoos, then why would we want you to continue a legacy of trying to pet us like we're an animal? And if you're trying to pet me or grab my hair or do whatever you want, and you feel like you have a right to do so, that should make all black people just angry, and we need to stop that as black people. You need to stop it. Go off. It's no different to me touching your hair like it's someone touching your butt or touching your breast or whatever. It's the same thing. It's putting their hands on you. And they should not be allowed to be doing that. Also, talked to a sister the other day, and I was talking about when some of them may say that, oh, you're articulate, and that's an insult to you too. And then there's one sister said that she introduced one of them the same way one time. She said, oh yeah, this is Stacy, and she's very articulate. And she said Stacy told her, like, well, why did you introduce me like that? Like, and I'm articulate. You say, well, that's the way y'all introduce black people. What's wrong with that? I mean, you're articulate. See, they even know it's wrong to be saying they're articulate. There's so many little things that I've kind of broke down, and I'm almost done, guys, with my book. And I'm going to teach you all those little things that they do. And just so you can open your eyes and really see the little things, the little small things they say, and how it's little jabs at you, or, things that lead up to what we've seen in this video here about our brother, Botham Jean. But we living in a global system of racism and white supremacy. This is the system that we live in. And we must connect with our brothers and sisters, like I said before, through the Caribbean, South America, Central America, and also, the continent as well. We must do that. And it's very, very imperative. Let me see. Morella on Facebook said that they need to continue boycotting the nail salons, the restaurants, and serving greasy food. So I agree with that. I think we do need that. Yeah. And then Sarah Jones say they want our energy. Kelly says the subject of hair infuriates me. Very sore spot. Don't touch our hair. Yeah, just wait till I put up the video. You'll see exactly, what I'm talking about. Okay, Nicaragua. Well, shout out to you, sister in Nicaragua. Shout out to you. To me, anybody talking like that constantly, that race war crap, and they always keep saying race war, race war, race war. Why aren't the FBI like coming in on them? Can you imagine black people if that's all they were saying? That that's gonna be they want to talk about initiating that. Man, you have so many black folks locked up on terrorism, locked up on all kind of charges for talking about it. And these Trump supporters in the woods training militia, talking about race war this, race war that. And that's all they talking about. We could, like that video I posted the other day of Colin Kaepernick. You heard the guy said, these liberals, I can't wait for the war to jump off. Like, really? And some of y'all was saying, when I said in that video, man, if y'all gonna do that mess, I ain't fighting nothing. And the reason why I said that is this. Every war that this country have been in, they needed us. Okay? Let's go back. The Revolutionary War, when the British was still coming over and doing their things and they wanted to be free from the Brits, right? Who jumped off the Revolutionary War? It wasn't even them. It was a black man that jumped that off. Christmas addicts. Without Christmas addicts, there would be no America. But black people aren't given credit for that. They couldn't even get themselves free from the Brits. They had to come to black slaves and say, hey, black people, if you help us get free, we're giving you freedom. But why they don't teach you that? That no matter what it is, they have never done anything without us. Trust me on this. We talking about the history of this country. The Revolutionary War, black people fought, and they got their freedom with the help of black people. They didn't do it by themselves, like they like to portray. Black people still enslaved. July 4th, 1776. Still enslaved after we helped you get free. This is why we say that Independence Day is not for us. It's not July 4th, 1776. It's June 19, 1865. So we were still enslaved after helping them get free. Then you go back, you look at all the inventions that black people created during slavery. They couldn't get patents. They stole their inventions, say it's their own. You have to understand that black people have never been here. We never came. No African slavery. This place would have been not where it's at today. Okay? You look at all the inventions that we've created down the line, simple things like refrigerated trucks. You know, you wouldn't have a refrigerated truck without black people. You wouldn't have a stoplight without black people. You wouldn't have a gas mask without black people. You wouldn't have home security system without black people. We can go on and on and on and on how we have helped innovate this country, how we contribute. You can go back to the Civil War. They try to put up a propaganda and they say, well, we helped free the slaves. Wait a minute. Black people fought in the Civil War on both sides. You didn't help free nothing. Black people fought for their own freedom. They died in that war just as much as white folks died in that war. And let's talk about the Civil War. When they cannot solve their problems and they can't come to the table and have a reasonable dialogue, they want to kill. This is what he at today. They're saying the same things about killing, about a war, because they can't have reasonable dialogue. So, but they say they have high IQ though. High IQ people don't do the most primitive thing is kill. High IQ people know how to think. They know how to be logical. They know how to plan. They know how to do all kinds of things. That's what high IQ people do. They don't just resort to killing. So when they tell you high IQ, I laugh at them. That's why it's a running joke, at least on this channel. And most black people get it now. They know it's a running joke. You can't be a high IQ but you want to kill everything. No, because people know that life is important if you have a higher IQ, right? So you look at the Civil War, then you look at after the Civil War, we were left on our own. We free, right? They had to once again enslave us again through the convict lease program. Remember, they cannot do nothing without black people. They can't do nothing without free labor. I'm gonna get all the way up to today with that. So we trying to do things on our own. We building our own towns on our own businesses on our own. We didn't get nothing, no help from them. We did it on our own. Understand that, okay? They had to come in mobs during Reconstruction and destroy everything that we built without their help. They didn't help us. They didn't give us crap. They came in and destroyed everything. It's just that simple. So when we left alone, we could actually do better. But this is why they want to make sure they're around us. They got to find out what we're talking about. They got to, try to constantly keep killing us. Is because they know when we by ourselves, we thrive very well. So all that mess happened during Reconstruction. You had the convict lease program locking brothers up because they were so used to free labor in this country. And that's what made this country rich, was 246 years of free labor. Imagine if I had 50 people working for me for free. Man, it would be nothing I couldn't do if I had free labor. But they don't want to pay for labor. They've never in this day paid for labor, okay? They never paid for full labor. So you had prison labor once again. Then you had sharecropping. Black people screwed during sharecropping, right? So that's free labor again. The 13th Amendment, you know about that. Slavery is legal in the United States under crime and punishment. So that's still free labor they have to this day. And then if they couldn't get the free labor from black folks, then they so greedy, they shipped all their manufacturing jobs to China and Taiwan and all these other places, right? Because they want cheap labor. Okay, that's why Chinese get paid $3 a day. And see, they would never blame themselves for why their rural areas are horrible, while they have meth and opioid. They'll never blame themselves. It's the immigrants' fault. It's the blacks' fault. They never blame their own people. So because they're addicted to cheap labor, they never paid full price for nothing. That's why China's a superpower now, because of the United States shipping what made United States actually a lot of money away from the country. That's so stupid. If you don't build things with your hands, that's bad. And this country don't do that. That could stimulate the economy with manufacturing. So they want to pay $3 a day, right? If they can't pay $3 a day, they get it from black people and other people for free in jail, right? That's why the cops want to lock so many blacks up, because they want us on the plantation field, right? And then if they can't get it there, they get it from the immigrants coming over. Like all this talk about illegal immigration, they allow that to happen because they want to get cheap labor from those people. They don't want to pay for it, and then they can abuse them because they can't say nothing. So this whole system, and what they do is they have never done nothing on their own in this country without us, without brown people, without, if you just study and follow that. That's why I'm not on this illegal immigration kick, because I know what they're doing. I know the white supremacists and what they're doing, and how they try to benefit and screw everybody. I know it's what they're doing. And if you let Trump gas your head up with certain things that he's saying, he's not even being honest. He's not even being honest with his own people. You know what I'm saying? So all this stuff that comes back to what the original story we're talking about, right, is all in this system. And their own people don't even accept it. They'd rather blame me. They'd rather blame you. They'd rather blame an immigrant. And really these immigrants, a lot of them coming over from these countries is because the drug heads are so bad in the United States. 90% of their supply comes to the U.S. because a lot of them are dope heads. And you see the opioid crisis actually, right? So there's so much cartel violence in their country, they can't stay over there. And they don't want to fix it because they can't go steal no resources because they don't have the resources. That's why they want to go to Africa. Like it's so much I could talk about, ladies and gentlemen, outside of the original story here. You get what I'm saying? This is what they don't want to teach your children in school. I remember earlier you guys was talking about school. We have to understand, and this is good. I can say this for all people, but especially black people, that it's the American indoctrination system. They are literally misinforming your children. If you're telling your children that Christopher Columbus is a great guy, and you don't even tell them the real story of Christopher Columbus, then that's misinformation. If you don't tell them that George Washington owned slaves, yes, he did. He owned slaves. They don't tell you that. When I went to school, they never said that to me. They said that George Washington was the first president of the United States. Oh, okay. George Washington, cool guy. They never told me that he had my ancestors in chains. Never told me that. Never told me about Andrew Jackson and the Trail of Tears. They never told me that. I said, that's misinformation. And that's supposed to be the history of the United States. How are we learning U.S. history, but we're not told U.S. history? That's where the indoctrination happens at. And like, it angers me when I'm lied to. I know a lot of you were lied to in school, right? So this is why they can teach you white supremacy in school and teach you that the white man is the best. He conquers everything and everybody else is a slave. And now they're even telling children, and they sending me screenshots, that the African slaves were unpaid workers or unpaid laborers. So they're not even saying slave. They want to say unpaid laborers. And we send our kids to be miseducated? Kylie Lee. Okay, you said stop letting them educate. Well, you have to take responsibility on that. You can do one of two things. Find a black school or homeschool. Thank God my child's in a school where she has black teachers, black everything, and I'm happy. I am happy. I'm happy with that. Thank God. But we have to take responsibility on that with the education of our children. If they, like they say, if they don't treat you right, why would they educate you right? Understand, Amber Guygur and all these cops that kill black people, they're taught to hate us. They're taught that. They're taught black people's life doesn't matter at all. Like a white supremacist once said, it's not murder when you kill black people. It's only murder when you kill white people. That's how they think. That's why they can kill you and it doesn't flinch. And you're their natural enemy. Nobody else, you. Yes, Sister Shirley, we have been bamboozled. And Sharona, yes, we have been lied to in school and the church. We definitely been lied to in the church. Don't even get me started on church house. That's a separate stream in itself. And yet, hold on, let me see. Let me get him out of here. Yemeni, okay, thank you, True Royal family. I'm about to say Yemeni boss, but you're listening to me though, so isn't it make it worse that you're listening to me with that? That's stupid. But see, like I said, the white supremacists, ladies and gentlemen on Facebook and YouTube, they come here and they make comments. Like I said, am I accepting pre-orders for the book? I will do pre-orders when we're ready to launch. So keep your ears open. Yeah, the white supremacist trolls are in here heavy. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But like I said, they will never be allow us to have conversation. And say we talking about the white supremacists. I don't care if people listen. That's fine. I met people of all races that love our show. And they're good people. They're they donate, they buy things. So like I said, I'm cool with that. We just talking about the white supremacists. That's what we talking about. You're right, Nikki Polo. It is not the time to be clinging to the enemy. You're right about that. Like I say, Revelation 18 teach you to come out from among them, lest these plagues fall upon you. And you need to pay attention to that. Like I said, I don't get into a bunch of Bible with y'all, but if I got into the Bible with y'all, he said do a church segment. Like I said, y'all don't think y'all want me to put on my Bible hat. I don't think y'all want me to do that. Cause then that'll be a big thing in itself. Yeah, well, you know what? Well, you talking about the black white supremacists and I'm gonna say that once again. White supremacy is an ideology. It is not a color. This is why you have the Jesse Lee Petersons of the world and the Larry Elders of the world and the Candace Owens of the world, right? They are black people, but they promote white supremacy. They sound no different than a Klansman. And also, let me now mentioning Klansmen. We have to stop dividing in our community. And we have to stop using white supremacist talking points even in our own community to divide. We don't have time to divide over stupid things. We don't. Some things some brothers and sisters do, I don't agree with. Some positions they take, I don't agree with. But we get into crunch time. In crunch time, we can't divide on trivial matters. We just can't. If a brother or sister is wrong, I think we should talk to them and try to maybe correct them in love in some way, form, or fashion. But we should not just sit up here and just attack each other. Because some of y'all were attacking another black person with vitriol. I'll say, why don't you save that vitriol for the white supremacists? Like, you get what I'm saying? Even I was looking at the situation that happened with Serena yesterday. Ever since Serena been married to that dude, the white supremacists been at her. They've been at her neck. Like, they don't leave her alone. I watched that debacle that happened when they cheated and causing Serena to lose. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I say, man, what else they won't do? You get what I'm saying? And every time that Serena go through something like this, I keep paying attention. Her husband don't stand up and do anything. He ain't standing next to her and say, hey, this is my wife. Y'all racist, XYZ. He don't say nothing. And when I say that, listen, when I tell people, because like I said, I'm not the dating marriage police. I'm not trying to tell you who to be with. I can't do that. My focus is on white supremacy, not who you be with. But I say that they're not going to trade in the benefits of white supremacy for you, black man or black woman. They're not doing it. And if they're not trading in the benefits of white supremacy to be with you, then how is that relationship even working? Like, his wife is always being put through the ring about these white supremacists every single time. And this man ain't standing up and saying anything, just forget the color aspect, just as a man. Like, how you, like, that should be a problem for Serena herself. Like, man, every time I go through something, this dude is like, okay, he may be saying something at home and say, no, publicly say something. Publicly challenge these people as being racist against your wife. You ain't saying crap. Well, my thing is, you know, you got this group of females that feel that's gonna save their life, but every time I look up, these dudes never stand up for them. And on the reverse side too, the brothers that with these females, they don't say nothing either. They stay quiet. They don't put their neck out because the benefits of white supremacy is more important than that black spouse. You're not gonna trade that in, and when you love somebody, you trade everything in for them. You don't hold back on your benefits of white supremacy. Like I say, I don't trust that guy with Serena. I don't trust that guy, and I hope I'm wrong. But something down the line may happen when she don't want to be with him no more, and he gonna try to get custody of that kid and try to get her money, because that's what a lot of them do. Ask Halle Berry about that. Ask her. I'm just saying, I know how they operate. This is why we say don't do certain things. It's not a hate thing. It's just how they move. It's just how it is. Just like I tell brothers, don't get with those females. It's not going to benefit you at the end of the day. The system is on their side. Any little thing they say about you, they're going to believe it. So, like, you got the deck stacked against you with that. I'm just telling you, like, and if you don't like it, well, then change the system. Because you're going to have some white people say, well, I'm not that way. I didn't say you were. I never accused you of being anything. I never said you was racist. I never said you were white supremacist. If you don't like what I'm saying, you as a white person change the system yourself. And don't tell me what to, because they always ask me what to do. You can't ask a victim or how you could fix something that people in your particular family is perpetrating a crime. Stop your people from perpetrating crimes of the system of white supremacy on victims like myself and my tribe. I mean, 'cause I always get that. Well, what could I do? The opposite of what's being done now. You can start there. Mods, you can get that other idiot out. You say he say he would lose money. Well, like I said, he don't love her then, because when you have a wife, you put it all out on the line. It like I say, it's no reason for Serena Williams to be constant. Matter of fact, all that mess that happened with her, he should have been the first one saying something, the first one defending his wife. Do you know them people ask Serena, well, what are your child's gonna think a way you responded today to the like really? You asked that woman what her child is gonna think? I couldn't have been up there because I would have checked him. I would have checked him real quick. I would say, don't you ever bring up my child when we talking about tennis. You get what I'm saying? I mean, they just disrespectful to Serena. And you know, in the back of my mind, I know Serena see it. And I know in the back of my mind, I know she be thinking like, this dude don't stand up for me. Because he don't. His website, Reddit, he want to stay good in with the white supremacists. See, it's okay to marry a black person if you can get an advantage out of him. Marrying Serena was a come up for him. Serena worth way more money than he was. That was a come up. He got the baby. Oh yeah. They gonna pull a white supremacist rigmarole on that sister. And she gonna try to get custody of that kid, and he gonna get paid. Like I say, I don't trust that dude just for nothing. Just on how he moving, I don't trust him. Thing is, as black men, we know who they are. Just like a lot of times sisters tell us about the white female, because you know who they are. You deal with them more. I hope nothing of what I'm saying happened to Serena. I really don't. Like I say, I don't. But This man don't speak up for her with the what happened with the cat suit. He should have been out there railing about, hey, that's my wife's health. What's wrong with it? He should be speaking up, using his white privilege to go at his people, and he don't do it. He stays quiet. It's not a marriage to me when a husband don't stand up for his wife. That's the only thing I'm saying. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not getting into no name calling. Sometimes, like the old people say, you just live life and you'll see. Just live life. Well, Earth Angel, I hope that don't happen. I hope that don't happen at all. But also, like I said, Black Americans need to stop being, like I said, that's our life. I'm not getting involved with it. My life is my life, and I'm focusing on the fight. I ain't got nothing against Serena. If I meet Serena, I'll talk to her. I'll treat her like a sister, and that's it. That'll be the only way I respond. I wouldn't call her no names. So that's stupid. The name calling. All the time you calling people names, you could be focusing on how to fix the system. Because some people with this name calling, they have this idea of African. They're African purists, I'm gonna say. And if you are a descendant of slave, you're not pure. What I call 100% African, you're not. You got colonizer blood in you. You can run your DNA. And then if you were serious about being pure, you would have to go to the continent of Africa and get with Africans. And I mean a dark African at that. If you're trying to be more purist, you can't get no light skin. You can't get no mixed race. You can't get none of that if you have that purist mentality. I'm just saying, live it. Don't just talk about it with other people. Well, Mr. DC, you can't tell other people what to do. Just like I can't tell other people what to do. Rewind the video person that came in. We talked about that already. We just having a conversation with the family that we don't normally have. Since we got 2,700 people here. Please hit the like button since y'all here and subscribe. I'm waiting. No, you're talking about Ethiopia. Brother Sharif should be wrapping. I'm gonna text him. He should be wrapping up the Ethiopia video. So you guys can see that, because like I say, you just saw that one clip from the African Union, but like I say, it's a whole thing. So I'm working. We were working on that. Well, Nita, yes, I know there's pure-blooded Africans that are light-skinned, but according to a lot of black people here that don't know their people, they'll say they're mixed. They'll say they're mixed. Matter of fact, some of those same people don't believe that two dark-skinned people could have a light-skinned person. They'll say they're mixed. So like I said, I don't even get involved with that. You worrying about who mixed, who not, that is a colonizer's mind. Always trying to identify color. Man, let's get the work done. Let's end white supremacy. Let's do that. Let's connect throughout the diaspora. I ain't worried about all that. That's stupidity. I guess as I get older, especially since when I definitely came back from Africa, it's like I've seen things totally different. They say Africa changes you. It really do. I just don't have time for the shenanigans that go on with us as black people. That's not going to be productive for us. And name calling people in our community is not going to fix our community. It's not. If they're in error, right? You think they're going to change by you name calling them? Think about that. You think they're going to change? Why would they change by you name calling them and dissing them? Wouldn't they change more if you just have a conversation with them, love on them a little bit, and see how they got to where they at? Wouldn't it be easier to do that than just name call? You're not changing black people by name calling them all day and saying they're this and that and the third. Okay, that brother and sister may be in error in some way. We all have error somewhere. But you have to love a person to correction. You can't just you this and you that, and you should change. Like, okay, why do they want to change when you're attacking them? Most people throw up a shield for defense when you attack. It's like my kids when they wrong. You know, yes, you do correct your kids, but there's times you got to teach them. You can't just yell and scream and like okay, like they don't want to hear you at that point. Well, you know, you talking about Richard Williams. He didn't go to the funeral. He didn't go to the wedding. And now how I see this guy move, I understand why. He peeped him. He wasn't really there for his daughter. Because all this mess his daughter going through, this guy had been nowhere to defend his sister at all. At all. Oh, yeah, you know, colorism, Mr. Eric Jones, you say has to stop. Yes. And it's like you say, I didn't see any of that in Ethiopia. That was nice. We need to stop that. Well, I'm dark skinned. Nobody in Ethiopia looked down on me. Treated me nice. So I can't say that's true. I will use names to describe behavior. Yes, I would do that. But I'm not doing that just to be calling names. I'm describing behavior. When I meet a person, I'm not going to be using those names. I got to describe behavior, so don't come up with that. Well, like I can't describe behavior. No, there's a difference between describing behavior and attacking somebody. It's totally different. All right, well, so ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I don't want to keep you too long. It's been an hour and 23 minutes that we've been on. I don't want to keep rambling because we can start a different subject if that's the case. But I want to thank the people on Facebook. Say I should do my live in the afternoon. I do them as I can see fit, my friend. That's the only thing I can tell you on that. But we want to thank you for joining us, like I said, on the live stream today. Those of you just jumping in, rewind it back. You hear the original subject matter, but we move in to talk about other things. Subscribe, make sure, you look out, click the notification bell. And if you're not on Patreon, join us on Patreon. We always put the link in the description box. And if we'll put it here once it's processed or whatever, join us there. Help us, if you want a channel membership, great. That helps us more than anything because we can't depend on YouTube. YouTube can do anything. So we definitely need the support of the people. We're going to do something next month, actually. We'll talk about that when it happens, especially when our Patreon members and channel members. We'll let you guys know what we're going to do next month. Anytime we do meet and greets or whatever, we always schedule that with the Patreon members or now our channel members. If you are in a particular city, we come meet up with you, have break bread. That's something that we love to do. We have to kind of do it with our members because we'll have some decorum. I can't put nothing out publicly because I have too many white supremacists here. And we don't need that issue with them. And I'm not saying they can't join a membership, but, we can filter things a little bit more there than we can here. It's too many fly-by-nights come in here. So Chris Wright, hold on, what Chris Wright say? Oh, okay, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us today, having a little short conversation. Catch it on the replay if you have not seen it before. Thank you for listening, and see you next